You did the math this morning. The drive is 20 minutes. Add 10 to get ready. You'll leave at 7:30. You'll arrive right on time. Maybe even early. You can already see it. And yet here you are. Again, 40 minutes late to your own plan. Sending the same text you always send. So sorry leaving now. Even though you're not, you're still looking for your keys. Now, you have a theory about why this keeps happening. The theory is that something is wrong with you. You're lazy. You're disorganized. You don't respect other people's time. You've heard it from others, and worse. You've said it to yourself. I'm here to tell you that theory is wrong. And the real reason is so much stranger. Because here's the truth I'm going to prove to you by the end. You are not a person who runs late. You are a person who can't predict the future, and the single hardest future in the world for you to predict is your own. There's one person on this planet whose behavior you are spectacularly bad at forecasting, and you're looking at them in the mirror. Hold on to that. We'll come back to it. But first, let me take the knife out of your back. When you planned your morning, what did you picture? Be honest. You pictured the perfect version. Every light green. No line for coffee. Keys exactly where they should be. You ran the highlight reel, the one where everything goes right. And you timed that. You did not picture the spilled coffee. The text you had to answer. The 2 minutes hunting for the other shoe. Because your brain, when it plans, only invites one guest to the meeting, the best case scenario. There's a little assistant in your head whose entire job is to estimate how long things take. And this assistant is a relentless optimist who has never once, in your entire life, filed an accurate report. And you keep believing them anyway. This has a name. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky called it the planning fallacy. The definition is almost poetic in how doomed it sounds. The tendency to confidently believe your own project will go as planned, even while you know that nearly every similar project you've ever done ran late. You know the past, and you're still convinced this time is different. And before you decide this is a personal failing, I want you to look at something enormous. In 1957, the city of Sydney announced a magnificent opera house. The plan was clear. It would be finished in early 1963, at a cost of $7 million. Sensible, confident, approved. The Sydney Opera House opened in 1973, a full decade late, at a cost of $102 million. That is not $7 million plus a little extra. That is more than 14 times the original estimate. An entire nation, with engineers and architects and accountants, ran the exact same play you ran this morning with your keys. They saw the best case, and they timed that. So you're in good company. The planning fallacy doesn't care if you're one person late for brunch or a government building a landmark. Same bug, same beautiful, optimistic lie. Okay, so far this is comforting, isn't it? It's not your fault. It's a universal human glitch. You can relax. Don't get too comfortable. Because now I have to show you the part that stings. You are not actually bad at predicting how long things take. You are only bad at predicting yourself. Think about your chronically late friend. The one who's always 20 minutes behind. When they say, "I'll be there at 8, what do you think?" You think, "Sure you will." You silently add half an hour. Because you know them. You have data. You've watched the reruns. Researchers proved this is universal. People wildly underestimate their own completion times, but when they predict how long someone else will take, they get it about right, sometimes even too pessimistic. When you judge a friend, you think like a historian. What have they actually done before? When you judge yourself, you throw the history out and write fiction. So here is the strange, slightly humbling truth. You have a kind of psychic power. You can see other people's delays coming a mile away. The power just refuses to work when you point it at yourself. Now, maybe you're already nodding along, thinking you've found the loophole. Fine, you'll just plan for the worst, then assume disaster. Pad the schedule, problem solved. Let me tell you what happened to a room full of students who tried exactly that. Researchers asked university students, deep into their final year thesis projects. A simple question: when will you finish? On average, students predicted 34 days. The reality? 55.5 days. Now, that alone isn't shocking. But the researchers did something clever. They asked another group to predict their finish date, assuming everything went as badly as it possibly could. The absolute worst case. Those students, imagining total disaster, predicted around 49 days. And they still finished late. Even the worst case scenario was too optimistic. Fewer than half of them made it by their own doomsday prediction. Let that land. When you imagine the worst, you are still being an optimist. The bug runs so deep that you cannot simply will your way out of it by frowning harder at the calendar. So if trying harder doesn't work, and being more pessimistic doesn't work, what does? Here's the part one promised you. And the answer is going to feel almost wrong. Because it's the opposite of everything you've been told. The fix is to stop trusting yourself. Kahneman's solution has a clinical name: reference class forecasting, but the idea is beautifully simple. Stop treating today as a unique, special story where everything will finally go right. Start treating yourself like that friend you can read so well. Don't ask, how long should this take if everything goes perfectly? Ask, how long did this actually take the last 5 times? Not, I can make it in 30 minutes. Instead, the last 5 times I did this drive, it took 45. So it takes 45. No heroism, no optimism, just the receipts. Because the truth is, you were never broken. You don't lack willpower or decency. You are just a wildly generous prophet when it comes to your own life, and the cure isn't to become a better person. It's to become a colder statistician about your own past. So the next time you're planning your morning, and that little assistant in your head whispers, 20 minutes. Easy. Don't argue with them. Don't try to be more disciplined. Just do the one thing you've never done. Treat yourself like a stranger you've watched for years. Pull up the data. Trust the history, not the hope. So here's the only question left. The next time you make a plan, will you finally listen to who you actually are? Or will you believe that optimistic little liar in your head? One more time?